Folks, Christmas is like 10 days away. If you have not started your Christmas shopping yet, now might be the time, but there's like just a week and a bit left. So I would recommend hopping on it now. You have until the 18th to order in North America at knifewear.com, and we got a sale going on. So now is the best time to get started. Today, I'm gonna cover 5 terrible knives that are just the worst knives to give people as gifts, so that you know what not to get. And then I'm gonna go through 5 alternatives that you should get for people as gifts. Let's get started. Number 5 is a knife that the person is not going to use. Don't get them a knife that they can't use. This is called a Hanasuki, and it's an amazing knife for butchering poultry. I like to butcher chickens at home, but a lot of people don't. So getting somebody a hyper specialized shape, unless you know that they're into that thing that that knife does, might not be the best choice. Instead of getting a Hanasuki, maybe get them something more like a paring knife. This is a Masashi Kaijin 135mm petty knife. This is my favorite size of utility and paring knife because it's small enough to use in your hands fairly comfortably, but it's big enough you can use on the cutting board. Go for a shape and size that's going to be useful to them every day in their home kitchen. Number 4, Fujiwara Denka 210mm Gyuto. This guy is an awesome knife. I actually have this knife and I use it at home almost every day. But for most people, the price is probably a little bit too high to be getting as a gift. During the holidays, a lot of financial stress, there's a lot of people to buy gifts for. Maybe don't blow your entire budget on one present for one person. This is an awesome knife, and if I got this as a gift, I'd be very happy, but I'd also feel extremely guilty because I don't necessarily want somebody spending like $800 on me, unless they can afford it. If you can afford it, go for it. Instead, you can get a really excellent kitchen knife, somewhere between $200 to $400 Canadian dollars, even less if you want to, or more if you want to. This Haruki Soba Nakiri is a great shape and size that you can use every day, so it fits the parameters from before, and it is a really affordable knife, and it's 20% off until Christmas. This vegetable knife, very useful at home, designed for cutting vegetables, but you can also cut, debone meat, that kind of thing. So it is very much an everyday knife. Number 3 is a Ryusen Okokuryu Nakiri. Look at that knife. Look how awesome that is. Problem is, this knife is too awesome to give somebody as a gift. It's gonna blow their mind. Their head's gonna explode from the awesomeness of this knife. So you should get this knife for yourself instead. If you're gonna get somebody a knife as a gift, I think it's very important that that knife is beautiful and stunning. But maybe you don't want it to be so nice that they're afraid to use it, right? This knife looks like a Ferrari. You get a Ferrari, you're afraid to scratch the paint. What's the point? It's a car. So instead, get them a knife that's beautiful and makes them say, wow, when they open it, but something that's just a little more down to earth. This guy is a Haruki Soba Santoku. Santoku, great multi-purpose size, again, very useful for daily work. It's gonna do a bit of everything in the kitchen. It's made from really excellent steel, a little bit higher maintenance. It's called super blue carbon steel. So you wanna make sure you keep it dry so it doesn't rust, but it's just a stunning blade. Look at that thing. It's beautiful, but it's not so crazy that they're gonna be afraid to use it in case they might mess it up. This is a knife that looks like it's meant to be used. I have the paring knife in this collection, and it's a pretty kick-ass line, so big fan. Number 2, Kurosaki Senko 270mm Gyuto. Look at this big thing, it's awesome. I love big knives, and so I feel like I can get a lot done with this guy. The problem is, if I buy this as a gift for somebody who's a home cook, not only is it gonna blow my budget, but it's way too big. This is gonna be way too scary and intimidating for, my mom or my dad or whoever to use every day. This is a knife for somebody who's a collector or a professional chef. And if you're buying for somebody like that, by all means, get them a crazy knife like this. But if you're buying for just an average person, don't go for something quite this big. If you wanna get them a knife that's a little larger than the other ones we've talked about, go for a 210mm Gyuto. This is a Tojiro Atelier. It's still a gorgeous knife. It's still handmade by a blacksmith, but it's just, a little more manageable. Pretty much anybody could sneak up on this knife, pinch the blade, and get great control over it without it feeling too big or dangerous or scary or intimidating. It's a very approachable knife for a home cook. All right, and the number 1 worst knife to give somebody as a gift is this Munetoshi 240mm Gyuto. See this guy, again, kick-ass knife. Problem is, this entire blade is made out of high carbon steel. It's a steel called white carbon steel number 1. Now, high carbon steel is much more traditional. For most of history, carbon steel was the only kind of steel. Basically, carbon steel can rust. And that's why it's not a great gift. It's kind of like giving somebody a puppy. It's really high maintenance. So you give somebody a knife, they cut an onion with it, they walk away because the phone rings, and they come back and their knife is covered in rust. They're probably not going to want to use that knife again because they didn't expect that. Most people are used to stainless steel. By all means, if you are buying for somebody who takes really good care of their stuff, polishes their own shoes, listens to records, seasons their own cast iron, get them a carbon steel knife, maybe, if that's something you think they'd be into. But for most people, just get them a stainless steel knife. I always buy stainless steel knives as gifts. This Masakage Kumo Santoku fits all the parameters we've talked about today. It is stunningly gorgeous. It's a shape and size they can use every day, and it's stainless steel. And when you're choosing a knife as a gift, those are really the three main things you want to consider. Is it easy to take care of? Is it a knife they're going to use every day? And is it beautiful? Are they going to get excited when they open the box, but not be too afraid to use it? That's really what you want to consider when you're choosing a knife as a gift, and then, narrow it down based on your budget. I think anybody in your life would be happy to receive one of those 5 alternative knives that I talked about today. You can find them linked down in the description below, but if you go to knifewear.com and you kind of use those parameters as a guideline, you'll be able to find the right knife as a gift, no problem. If you need more help, come to one of our shops or message us online and we can help you pick the right knife. We have free shipping over $100 in Canada and free shipping over $200 to the USA. Make sure you get your orders in before the 18th of December so that they arrive on time for Christmas. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's. I don't know what to do with my hands. Goodbye. Peace. Crank the gain down in this video. I'm just yelling today. Had a lot of caffeine and I've been up since 6:30, so